Deepak Ashwini is a young rising star in the whole area of food forests. And we decided to get him here before we moved into the Patanjali ji session, is to kind of give you a flavor of what a food forest looks like. And now I think we are going to have Ashwini, Deepak probably catch, you will probably catch him in a food forest, in the middle of a food forest if network allows. Ashwini, are you there? Deepak? Uh, Deepak, do
So
we
are
have?
you able to me? Are you able to hear me?
We can hear you. We want to see you also now.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot, Gauri, for giving this opportunity. It's really an honor to participate in this call, and especially after Padma Madam, because she has been my teacher. She
Wonderful.
and Narsana sir, they are my teacher. So hello again, Padma.
Where,
And I'll before introducing myself, let's start about let's introduce the topic for which we all are passionate about. I'm in really in the middle of food forest. I spend most of my time in a forest or in a food forest after 2010 throughout the world, and after 2018 I came back to India and still stayed in forest. So I'm here with a lot of layers over here of multiple trees. At the end, the bigger trees you see, that's the blackberry, jamun tree, amla, and bamboo, and guava. There's a little bamboo hut and a little mandala garden that we are making. This is actually a farm in Karnal in Haryana, in northern part of, and we are helping, our team is helping them to convert into full-fledged food forests. And he has reached at this level by his own thinking. He's a little bit different thinker. So there are a lot of like chiku trees, all kind of native, easily grown species are over here. Mango, we counted around 35, 38 species, including the vines, in an acre. And we are going to convert, starting with 5 acres in the beginning, and then his total land is 13.5 acres. So this first acre, the only thing is we need to plant system trees more like legumes, as explained by Padma Madam. There are a lot of producive trees, produce giving trees, and we need to add more flower and legumes and those kind of, like, to make the guilds, to make the family of trees. And I'm standing in the middle of a meditation hall. Here it's going to be a meditation hall, and it's surrounded by trees. It's extremely beautiful. If you look at the neighbors, it's all rice, cultivated, like just planted in this rainy season, all around the farm. But this is the only paradise of 5 acres. It's full of trees and birds and wonderful soil quality.
So,
Now to
Deepak, my
little bit, yeah,
question to you
yeah.
is that, it is one thing to talk about, it seems very romantic to talk about food forests. I mean, honestly, when the first thing which hits me about food forests is romance. And this whole idea that you're in this wonderful foliage, okay, with the best of things growing. If we were to convert this whole romantic idea of a food forest into something which gives us food, of course, but which actually works in a commercial, economics parlance, in a farm to folk sense, how will you bring it to the ground?
Yeah, I was coming to that topic as well. So I'm the founder of a group called Edible Forest. It's a group made by a bunch of enthusiasts, and our mission is to create access to food forest for all. It does not say that to create ownership of food forest for everyone. It says access. Access means that we always encourage people not to own the land, but actually partner with the farmer and create a food forest together. So first thing that we take care is a lot of our work goes into motivation of the city people as well as the farmers. And in our motivation, the language that we use, we don't use the terms like permaculture and all that. Of course, when they deep dive into it and they explore more, then they get to know, then they ask questions, then of course we go into that. But in the beginning, nothing complicated. We say to them that this is going to solve your practical problems. To the farmer, the practical problems are high amount of labor. Every year the water is consumed more, and the soil is degenerating every year. So these are the three key problems that, and of course, because of these three problems, the income is reducing, the net profit is reducing. So you come to a food forest, and then you will have a boost in these three problems. These three get solved, and then your income will hopefully increase. To the city people, what we say is that you are anyway struggling, and it's so romantic to just think about having a land and your problem will be solved. But that's not the reality. It's actually extremely hard work to work in the land and give the love, especially when you haven't done anything or you don't have experience for that. So why don't you club with a farmer and do it together, and you can go there on weekends and spend time there. So what we do is we encourage them that you 3-4 families come together and you pay the minimum lease amount that is there in that area. Like if a farmer has given the land on lease, for instance, it does not mean they are giving on lease. For instance, the rate is 60,000 per year for 1 acre. So what we tell them that, like, okay, 3 families come together, so that brings 20,000, or 4 families come together, 15,000 per family, about 1,500 or 2,000 per month. So you give them as a security in advance, like 6 months of money you can give them in advance. So the farmer is secured. Now, whatever they grow, the farmer can also take for themselves as well as for your 4 families. And beyond that, whatever is left out, you can either 4 families come together and can either try to sell and get the income and share that income with the farmer, or you can do certain events or whatever you are interested, motivated in that particular area, and consume that food. Now, this is actually win-win for the farmer as well as for the consumer. So that is the reason they get interested into it. And otherwise, they just don't talk to each other. If we don't, mention this, they are all just judging or doubting each other that will it's
Wonderful.
gonna work or not.
Wonderful.
We try to bridge that.
Deepak,
But
can we also
beyond
see
that,
you? Can we also see you? It will be wonderful to also
yeah,
see you
yeah,
physically. Yeah,
yeah.
that's you.
I'm against the sun.
It was important to know
Yeah.
the person
So
behind this. Yes, please go ahead.
yeah. So beyond this, I'll remove this. Beyond, apart from that, what the new idea that we are initiating is that at every food forest location, we are trying to make a micro community, a small decentralized eco village community. This will be a complete package of natural building, organic clothing, pottery making, natural cleaning products. Everybody will be well aware of and there will be, of course, a food forest. So what we do is we say to the city folks like, hey, you are looking for this paradise and you are just imagining it. But the way of your doing that is by buying the land and making it happen and hiring people and motivating them. It's going to take so many years, even if you are going to do it. In most cases, you will be doing other things like job and anything else. So why don't you club with the person who has the land, and then pay, let's say, a lifetime membership fee to access that community rather than owning the land. So we call it Tan Man Dhan community, TMD community, which means that some people give their tan, that is physical labor, the people who are working there, they don't own the land. Some people give their man, that is the concepts, the brain power to initiate new ideas, to connect to the market, uh, to provide the marketing, accounting support. And some people give dhan, which includes the money or the land, which is the landowner as well as the city folks. So the way practically it will look like is, let's say, uh, a foreign NRI family wants to return back and they want to live in this paradise. So they can commit for approximately 35 lakhs in the beginning to get a lifetime membership. So they get a already made natural building house. If their requirements are different than compared to the already made house, then the farmer makes another house for them, and they get access to all these resources that I said. Along with that, we also help them to build an alternative school, because we have partners for all those things that I said, like natural building, poetry, natural colors, organic clothing, and alternative school as well. So so that we can bring that partner and the alternative school can be open, and these things also becomes as a extra income for the community to maintain, to sustain. So one thing we are extremely careful is that we always tell to either city people or farmers that you should not rely only on farm produce as your income, because this is not a farming, this is not a factory. In a factory, in a farm, in a monoculture, you can do that, but here that should not be the case. As nature has diversity, as food forest has diversity in trees and layers, your income should also be diverse. So rather than going to the market, you should bring people here. You do whatever, yoga, meditation, alternative schooling, whatever you do, your aim should be bringing people here, making a community. If you're able to bring people here, they are the one who are going to spread the word, and they are the one who are going to take the boxes of fruits
Exactly.
directly from here.
This is
So that should be the
community-based learning.
outcome.
Yes, wonderful. This is
Yeah.
really wonderful. This is really the new concept catching on, especially in peri-urban areas. I think this is the in thing now. People want to, they want to breathe fresh air. They want to experience what it is to be in the greens. They want to actually eat really good fresh food, cooked. So you should think of a good organic kitchen also. So yeah, and children. I think children need to grow in the soils and the greens. So all of this is really what a concept like this brings to us. Wonderful. This is excellent, Deepak. Any last few words, because we need to move on to the next session.
Yes, there is one more point that I missed out. It's so we put attention in these three things. The way we are communicating, I already explained. The multiple diverse benefits and earning sources and win-win situation for city as well as the farmers. And the third thing is the connection to health. Now, this has proven really magical for us. Like in the beginning, we were only talking about food forests and all those technical things about soil regeneration, biodiversity, and all those things, but we found out like people are not really motivated and getting on board quickly onto it. But the moment we started making a connection with the health, and it's automatic also, like what you grow, that's gonna what you are going to eat, and what you eat actually derives your design of what you are going to grow. So if you eat more perennial, that means more fruits. My diet is about 80% fruits. So if you eat more and more perennials, you automatically tend to grow more perennial, and that means it's going to give more health, good health for it to you, as well as to the soil, and automatically a lot of mulch, all those technical features fall in place. So the moment we made that connection, so all of our workshops includes start, actually most of them starts with health and then end up into a food forest, even if we are talking to farmers. So if we include the health part, that you'll be more healthy if you consume more than 50% raw and more perennials, and get rid of the grain, especially the gluten grain like the rice and the wheat. If you get rid of that, you switch to millets, but keep it to 20
That's
25%.
wonderful.
Uh,
That's
you
wonderful.
keep that it gives magical results to your soil as well as to your health. So that is really working really magically well for us, and people are catching up on the food forest because of that as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Deepak. This is excellent. Actually, you're here because of that, because this is what Bhumija does. It connects the whole idea of farming with health, which is our platform called Living Without Medicine. I haven't been able to talk much about it in today's session, but we did cover it yesterday. So, Deepak, wonderful. So wonderful to have you doing things right on the ground. And I hope to be able to connect many communities with you close to Karnal and other areas. You, of course, don't work only in Karnal. Deepak incidentally works in different parts of India wherever he gets an opportunity to grow a food forest. So